Hey guys, and welcome to the Bayern View. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. We're here. We've got a special guest on the channel. So big up, Alex. 1000%. Obviously, a Leverkusen fan. Yeah, man, super duper happy to have you on. Welcome to the channel, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, look forward to the game tomorrow. Be really good, sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, from my perspective, Bayern perspective, of course, I hope we beat you. But of course, you're going to be thinking the same thing. But yeah, as always, people smash the thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. I will. The link for Alex's Twitter is in the description. First line, go and hit him up with a follow over there. So yeah, big up to everybody that supports here on the Bayern View, and yeah, obviously we're here to talk about this game. So, how do you, as a Leverkusen fan, how do you see Bayern? Because obviously you won the league, really, really well done as well on that. Undefeated is ridiculous, and I'm not even taking the piss like generally. But yeah, how do you as a Bayer Leverkusen fan actually see Bayern Munich?
Well, it doesn't matter how well they did last season. At the end of the day, Bayern is still Bayern. They're still by far the biggest club in Germany, biggest salary, budget, best players on paper. Doesn't really matter if you're playing against some top form or in the off season. They always know how to step up in the big games. They always find an extra gear. And I'll be lying. Like, yes, we did beat 3-0 in the last game, and
Yeah,
obviously we've managed to salvage a 2-2 draw in the first game against you last season. But to be honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous. I know it could either be a really close end-to-end game, or we could go down by 3 goals in the first 20 minutes, as has happened in previous seasons. So anything could happen.
yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. When there's a big clash at the top, anything can happen. You could go out of nowhere and smash us. We could smash you. We could have an end-to-end game, or it could be a boring game where we nullify each other, and then someone gets the either a draw or just a point or whatever. Um, what do you make? Obviously, glad to have you on, like I said, but I have generally no clue what your opinion is on certain things. So, what is your opinion on Xabi Alonso as the manager?
Wow, it's absolutely incredible. In the time that I've watched Leverkusen, I guess there's always been players, or always been coaches with ideas. Not all of them have been working as well. I mean, had Peter Bosch with his extreme possession football. We've also had Roger Schmidt with his extreme pressing. But with Xabi Alonso, he knows the right tactics on the day to suit each individual opponent. We do have still a good identity, maybe not so much this season in terms of our style of play. We haven't been building up from the back with the same like quality as last season. But in when the going gets tough, he always manages to find a way to make changes mid-game, which I guess sets him apart from most other managers. We could be really struggling at half time, but he always makes a change either to the personnel or in the tactics, which just gives us the extra edge and takes our opponents off guard. Yeah, and he instills a winning mentality, which we obviously never had before in Leverkusen, hence never losing up until last season. Yeah, just absolutely unbelievable. Very lucky to have him.
Yeah, no, I can see that, and obviously that was a reason I think that Bayern Munich were trying to get him from you guys, and obviously he stayed with you guys. I generally, personally, in my personal opinion, feel like he's been tapped up by Real Madrid, um, and I feel like he will go there. Obviously, time will tell. On the system though. If I'm right by saying you didn't used to play a five back before he come in. So,
Um,
what's your opinion on that?
yeah, before we came in, we sometimes played with three at back, sometimes played with four at the back. There wasn't really any set system. Under Gerardo Soriano, I guess we tended to play more with the um four at the back, 4-3-1. Yeah, the system works very well because you got three very good ball playing centre backs, and then for example, you've got Hincapié who's flexible as well. You can easily move forwards to the left, and the other two can cover. You've got Tapsoba as well, also very good at carrying the ball out of the pitch. So it can easily change from five at the back to a back four in possession with either one of Grimaldo or Frimpong, usually Grimaldo, tending to stay back and Frimpong can push on. It works very well with in terms of keeping the width and allows a bit of space as well for the likes of Wits to um, do their thing. Yeah, it's this season's haven't been quite as compact as last season,
Yeah.
but then again, in terms of expected goals, we vastly overperformed in terms of our expected goals conceded versus the actual goals conceded. And this season, we are a bit more open at the back, conceding like 3 times more per game than last season, like 2.25 versus 0.75 from last season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you make of, obviously last season you obviously went undefeated again, which is just ridiculous in itself. Um, yeah, wow. I do feel like the Bundesliga have kind of screwed you guys over though with that, because like all you ever hear is Arsenal fans have always going on about their invincible season and all of that, and you guys did it better, way better, and you realistically could have won somewhat of a treble if obviously the final did go your way. Obviously, it didn't, unfortunately, for you guys. But yeah, what do you make of? Do you think you should have got a golden um, trophy rather than the silver plate?
Of course, of course. Yeah, what we did was something never seen before.
Yep.
In terms of how close we were to invincible treble. I mean, we lost in the final of the Europa League, and the
Yep.
closest anyone's gone before to doing that was Ajax, and they lost in the semi-finals of the domestic cup, I believe. So there's no one that's gone all the way to a final undefeated, um,
Yep.
European final undefeated. And, but I guess at the same time, can you just imagine the cost of it? Imagine making a trophy the size of the Meisterschale in gold. It would be beautiful. Would be special. I guess the memories though, they're what's gonna live on regardless of whether or not we get a physical golden trophy.
Yeah. No,
The
I get you. I get you. I just feel like, like thinking obviously as a Bayern Munich fan, if we went undefeated, for instance, you know, that's what I would want. For me personally, I would be like,
yeah,
why are we not? We just done something crazy. We've gone invincible. The likelihood of that ever happening is really ridiculously slim. So, but I do agree with you in the fact that it obviously is going to cost a lot. But you would think that, like, it wasn't like you guys were, and obviously I'm not shitting on your club, but it wasn't like you were contenders, couldn't get over the line. No, you literally did it straight up and went undefeated. So, from that perspective,
yeah, from nowhere. Yeah,
yeah,
ha- yeah. Before that season, in terms of the squad, I guess we would put ourselves as like second favourites maybe behind Bayern, but still there's a just you can't just go into the Bundesliga season and expect to win with Bayern Munich around, especially after coming we did have an incredible run that season where we went from 17th to 6th. But even then, like the last few games of that season, where we finished 6th, we were falling apart. We were losing 3-0 against Bochum at the end of the season. Yet somehow, one transfer window, Xabi Alonso got every single player he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened in that pre-season, yeah, out of absolutely nowhere, we
Yeah.
just pull off a miracle. Better than Leicester, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh no, most obviously because of the league,
Yeah,
because it's the Farmers League, and it's not got the PR and the money in it. No one will give it its due. And even if you were to go against an Arsenal fan, if you were to have a head-to-head with an Arsenal fan, you'd get swallowed up. Not necessarily because you wouldn't say your piece, but because it's all the PR and Henri and all of this, where you guys absolutely smashed it, and the credit should be there. And that's coming from a Bayern fan. I can't stand anyone in the Bundesliga. I just want to win, of course. So, you know.
yeah. 51 games unbeaten is more than 49. Yeah. So
Exactly.
that's said.
Yeah, exactly. And look how many draws they got as well. You guys were absolutely smashing it. Realistically, you should have done the double against Bayern as well, by the way. You should have. But a couple of things. Obviously, we need to talk about the game. We will talk about that in a minute. What do you make of Jonathan Tah? What do you make of that whole situation? For anyone that doesn't know, I'm pretty sure you have. You do know. I've made about 10 videos on it. Bayern Munich were basically supposed to get Jonathan Tah. This summer window just gone. There was an agreement with Bayer Leverkusen's higher ups and everything that Bayern, once they get the money, they will go and sign Tah. We didn't, from what the media is saying, we didn't hold our end of the bargain. They then set a date. We didn't get in by that date. It seems like he was pushing for the move, blah, blah, blah. It didn't happen. He's still a Bayer Leverkusen player. For me personally, I still think he's a really, really good player and I want him. So yeah, it's kind of like a double-handed question. Number one, what do you think of Tah? Number two, do you think he's good enough for Bayern? And do you think he'll leave on a free?
Okay, so in terms of his skills football, I mean he's been here for quite a long time. Some said it's because maybe his performance has stagnated. But in the last 2 or 3 seasons, he has taken the next step. He is becoming a world-class centre-back. Yeah, he's been with us 10 years following the end of this season. So he would go down as a club legend, obviously for part in the title. But the whole situation has totally turned a lot of fans against him because they now see him as a guy who's just in it for the money. It's been known for a while that he's interested in a move to the Premier League, but to go to a club in the Premier League versus the biggest rivals, directly weakening ourselves and strengthening you. Yeah, a lot of people are quite angry, and a lot of people just wanted him out as soon as possible. But yeah, it didn't happen. Whether or not he goes to Bayern on a free, I guess there's bound to be something going on in the background. It will be a classic Bayern thing to negotiate during the season and get their biggest rivals on a free. But yeah, is he good enough for Bayern? Right now, I'd say you would start. But do you need him? Do you need Tah specifically? I doubt it. I feel like it's just a classic Bayern move of weakening the opposition. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you on that one. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen, obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future with if he'll resign, if he will go somewhere else, blah blah blah. But like, you've got a good amount of centre backs. Tapsoba's in there. You've got how do you say the guy that begins with a H?
Hincapié.
Hincapié,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Tah. There's somebody else I'm missing as well.
Mukiele. Yeah,
Yes, like you've got a
yeah.
good amount of cover.
On loan as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so on Tah, for me personally, I understand why there was an uproar from your end, obviously, because I've got an uproar in the fact that Alphonso Davies is going to push for the Real Madrid move on a free. So I feel that 1000%. But at the same time, I do want Jonathan Tah. The problem is, obviously, we got rid of a better player in De Ligt, in my personal opinion. Well, we were saving money, put it that way. That's why we were doing it. But still, to this point, it makes no sense why we did it. And obviously, he's gone over to Man United now. And then obviously, we were supposed to get Tah. We didn't hold up the end of the bargain. And then obviously, you guys were like, stuff you then. You ain't getting him. Which I understand, and I feel like Herbal, Freerund, they're both really, really good at their jobs and have proved that in the past. But for Bayern, for me personally, I feel like they've got an egg all over their face, generally.
Yeah. I think they approached it the completely wrong way. Their offers were quite insulting, to be honest. Like, we made it clear that you have to accept. We'd be willing to accept 30 million. Like, at one point, it was even 40 million.
Yeah.
But your offers were so off the mark. Like 20 million is the highest you could go to. Which, yes, he has got 1 year left on his contract, but the importance to the team and the fact that you got to pay a little bit extra if you want him. I mean, I'm sure they might have accepted 25 million if it was like Premier League club or a club elsewhere, but yeah, you can't just be selling players to Bayern Munich, especially given that we haven't sold a player to Bayern Munich since 2004, because we actually had a policy in place where we wouldn't do that, even to the extent where, for example, in I think 2011, we sold Arturo Vidal to Juventus, even though they were paying less than what Bayern Munich would have done, just out of principle.
Yeah, no. And I get it. I understand why you wouldn't want to, I don't like but selling players to Real Madrid. Obviously, they don't even play in our league. So, obviously we do play in the same league. You will be strengthening a rival, which what you said is 100% right. For me personally, on the bids, I'm kind of in two minds. I agree with you on one hand, 1000%. Some of those bids were so stupid, but I also understand what they're doing because they're just. But it's patronising. Don't get it twisted. But they were doing it to be like, your little Leverkusen, you stand over there. We will take what we want. And I understand. Again, that's why Bayern hate it. Don't get it twisted. I'm with that 1000%. But yeah, I do agree with you though, the fact that if you want the player, we could have literally snapped him up like that.
Exactly. What is 2 million or 5 million to a club like Bayern Munich? The fact is, you had the player pushing for the move as well.
Yes.
So
exactly.
not only have you just ruined the friendship between the clubs, like you've turned the player against Leverkusen as well, and not only that, you've somehow managed to turn him against Bayern probably too, because he knows that they really want me. Why don't they just pay this money? I don't actually want to go there anymore potentially. But let's see.
Yeah. For me personally, I do feel like we will sign him, but you do make a great point. What if, in his mind, he's like, you literally could have paid 5-10 more million, and I wouldn't be playing for Leverkusen right now. I'd be in a red shirt playing with Harry Kane, Musiala, so on. But I do agree. Like I said just a minute ago, the uproar with getting rid of De Ligt and blah blah blah, and all of that. Obviously, having a bad season with Tuchel, signing Eric Dyer, all of it molded into one. Obviously, having a terrible season and everything. I felt like we definitely needed to get it right this window. And not bringing in a centre back was just so stupid. We finally got ourselves a DM in Polina, but yeah, like it's just so dumb, to be honest with you. Talking of another player though, Florian Wirtz. For the longest time since you signed him, I believe, it's wait till this. We will get Florian Wirtz. We will sign him. Blah 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 blah. Again, doing that big dominance of we'll take who we want when we want. Blah blah blah. Florian Wirtz, brilliant player. I always seen him and rated him. I still do think Jamal Musiala is better, but that's just an opinion. But yeah, those two together, what they're doing for the German national team is spectacular. And if for that to come in a club football, it would generally be amazing. Like, for instance, going to the level of like a Real Madrid, for instance. If you were to have those two with Harry Kane up front, I generally think we're smashing everything. For you though, obviously, I can see on your face you don't want that to happen. Of course you don't. But what do you think on Florian Wirtz? First off, what do you think of the player himself? Because obviously you watch him more than me.
Well, I think he's just excellent. He's a difference maker. He's not as flashy as Musiala. He doesn't have the
Yeah.
same like trickery, perhaps, but he's still going to get past players. He's got great vision. Got a decent shot on him as well. Shown like by his 7-second goal against France, for example, or
Mhm.
hat against Bremen. He had a pretty powerful shot from outside the box. Yeah, he's got excellent end product. And I believe it was it Uli Hoeneß, or there was another Bayern board member or former board member who said that Florian Wirtz makes the team better effectively, whereas Musiala doesn't. Yeah, he's an excellent team player.
Yeah, Didi Herman, I believe that was former Bayern
Yeah.
Munich player. I did not understand those comments whatsoever. I understand that you literally could have just said he's a team player in that and say that Jamal Musiala isn't, which I still wouldn't understand. I think Florian Wirtz is amazing. I just don't see this point of why are we smashing down one and putting one down and bringing one up. You know what I mean? They look at what they're
Yeah.
doing for the national team. They're like brothers.
It's just like Messi and Ronaldo. I have no problem with Musiala whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I think he's absolutely incredible. But if people use Musiala to beat down Wirtz, even though in my opinion Wirtz is better, you just got to look at the numbers.
Mhm.
Yeah, then yeah, of course I defend him. But yeah, we got to appreciate Musiala and Wirtz. I would love them to play together. Ideally, not at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Maybe Leverkusen if we win a few more titles, but yeah, at least we got them for Germany, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
I'm with you on that one.
fun to watch.
Again, obviously, we just spoke about Jonathan Tah, and obviously, you said you don't want to strengthen a rival. You know what the question is. You already know what I'm going to ask. But are you more happy in the fact that the other big clubs around the world, Real Madrid, for instance, Man City, or other clubs as well, are also looking at him? Obviously, you don't want to lose the player. No one wants to lose a player of that quality and caliber. But like, are you happy in the sense that there are others? Because obviously, for the longest time, it's been 2025. Bayern Munich will go for Wirtz. We've been saying this for I think a good 5 years now. I don't know why it's always been 2025, but yeah, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna go this season. But then again, Florian Wirtz's father, he said he's got a contract till 2027. He could
Yeah,
stay there till 2027. I think it's much better that we got other foreign clubs looking around, because the amount of money which we're asking for, 150 million or more, Bayern Munich aren't going to pay it. They might have the money if they somehow sell a load of players, but it's not a Bayern Munich transfer. Real Madrid transfer, Man City transfer, yes, and yeah, I guess it would be cool to see him play for Real Madrid, or another big club outside of Germany. Just
yeah,
as long as he doesn't, yeah, strengthen the rival, and just the bidding war. I really hope there's a bidding war for him. He deserves maybe even 200 mil. Who knows what could happen after this season? But yeah, the fact that there are other clubs, that's a good thing. But obviously though, the interest is guaranteed. He's one of the best young players,
hmm.
if not a
Yes,
potential Ballon d'Or winner. So, so ideally he would stay. Ideally, I hope he stays. But yeah, the fact that you've got big clubs elsewhere, it's going to be a good thing.
yeah, I do agree with you in what you said. It's not a Bayern Munich signing. It's not. I wasn't expecting them to spend the money that they spent on Kane, and they did. So I'm
Yeah,
not going to
that
say
was
that.
crazy.
Yeah,
100 million around 30-year-old.
yeah, like that's what I mean. Like if they can spend 100 million on a striker who has smashed it, and we know that Florian Wirtz would come in and play well with Jamal Musiala because he's already doing it for the German national team. Then yeah, bring him in. I want him. Don't get it twisted. I want him, and I feel like the whole fan base want him. Obviously, seeing what he's doing with Jamal Musiala in the national team, it is that point though. It is a massive if. It should realistically be a when because of who we are. But you are right. That 150 to 200 million. Bayern Munich realistically are in the race because he's German, because he's already in our league, because we are the biggest team in the league, and all of that crap, if you want to even put that as a whole. But yeah, PSG will be looking at him, of course. Real Madrid will be looking at him. Manchester City will be looking at him, as well as other big clubs. It does seem like it's going to be a bit more from my perspective. I would just hope that Bayern have got, because obviously, if I'm right by saying his agent is his dad, if I'm right by saying. So if they want to stay in the league but move, then hopefully that means he would come to us. The only thing is I don't want him to be a stepping stone if he is to leave you guys and come to us, because then
Bayern Munich, they're never going to be a stepping stone club. There are like 3 super clubs in the world. I'd probably say Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich, and those are the clubs which everyone would want to play for.
Yeah.
Realistically, then you're not going to. You can't use Bayern Munich as a stepping stone.
Just Real Madrid, mate. Real Madrid, I hate them so much. Tony Cruz, man, I could just imagine him in our team for the last 10 years. Obviously, they didn't want to give him the money, so it's our fault.
Yeah.
So, on the game, though, I've been chatting about other players. I apologise. On the game, obviously, you're expecting a win, I'm guessing. What are you expecting from the game tomorrow, mate?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting, a tough game.
Okay.
I'll go to the Allianz Arena and expect to win. That'd be crazy. But yeah, it'll be end to end. It largely depends on how we turn up. Are we going to be like we were against Wolfsburg, against Gladbach, against Leipzig? Are we going to be so open? Are we going to, or are we going to actually defend and be compact? Also, are we going to make mistakes? So far, the midfield of Xhaka and Garcia has been tried a few times, but hasn't really worked. Doesn't have the right balance. Xhaka and Garcia are a bit too similar to each other. But we will have Palacios back, which will give us a bit more like fight and a bit more quality, perhaps. Then up front, I've no doubt we will score against you,
Yes.
and I'm sure you'll score against us. But it will just be how many. I've got a feeling it could either be 5-1 to you, it could be over by half time, but at the same time it could also be 3-2 to us. It largely depends on how you turn up, how much you want to win, how much we want to win, and if you play against us, if you line up against us like you did last season, 3-0 defeat, where you could see in the players' eyes, I knew we could beat you because they were just afraid. Yeah, your players were afraid of us. This season, I've got a feeling it'll be different.
Yeah, no. Again, I hate to agree with you on that point, but you're right. Thomas Tuchel had them playing, I don't even know what, to be honest with you. They may as well have been doing jigsaws in the background, because it was just horrendous, to be honest with you. Company seems to have got that fight back. The fact that we scored all of those goals against Dynamo Zagreb. Obviously, they're not the best team. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying we're going to do that to you guys, but the fact that we have done that and then they were still going for more and more and more, is obviously amazing. The only thing that does scare me a little bit is this referee, because this referee is, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But yeah, not the best referee, I will say. I will say that. What would your score prediction be, though? Like, if you had to pick one, what would you be?
I'd say 3-2 to Leverkusen, with
Okay.
a bit of Leverkusen optimism. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Look, mate, your club have been getting late goals, which have been annoying me. Obviously, I want to see your downfall. I'm just like you, obviously, want to see our downfall, and I'm pretty sure you absolutely loved it when we were crap last season. But at the same time, yeah, no, I just hope for a good game, and I hope for the defense, our side, to please play well, because otherwise, Boniface. It, a lot of people won't give the credit where credit is due, because you've got Harry Kane in the league, so on and so forth. But that he is a scary, scary player, and he knows exactly where to put the ball. I'm just hoping that Harry, and Olasey, and just the whole team can have more than obviously your guys' team. So I'm going to go with. See, I've done my preview, which my preview will come out with someone that we do content here on the Bayern View with later on tonight. But I keep changing. I think it could be a 2-2 draw. I think we could smash you, like you said. You guys could beat us. Like, I really don't know what to make of it, if I'm being honest with you, because it is a tight game. It's not to the fact that we're playing again a Dynamo Zagreb. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not changing the score by a couple of goals. 7-1, 9-1. You know what I mean? It is that fact of, will it be a draw? Will we actually turn up? We've been playing amazingly. Don't get it twisted, but I did see what we did against Wolfsburg. Obviously, you guys obviously won a late minute against Wolfsburg. They got a red card, so on. But I've seen us concede goals this season already. The one thing I would like to ask you, though, if we go over to the table, obviously you're only a couple points behind us. You obviously lost to Leipzig, which I'm pretty sure you're not happy with, to be honest. But you guys are still scoring a ridiculous amount of goals, but you are leaking a good amount of goals also, which obviously you have alluded to here on the show. Does that scare you, that you have been leaking in more goals than you like were?
Yeah, of course. And to be honest, when I look at the table, is quite amazing how we're second. But I guess it shows, I guess how our standards have risen, and the fact that we can be performing badly and still be second. I'll take that. Um, yeah, it does worry me. Because last season there would be times in which we'd be like up against it, but you just trust that we'll be okay in the end. But this time around, we're making silly mistakes. That's the thing. It's not like we're being outplayed. We're just making errors, which we just weren't making last season. Like last season, you'd see us passing around the back like nobody's business, like Barcelona, fine Barcelona, and for whatever reason, it's just not quite clicked. But if there's a game for everything to work and get back to normal, it's this one. So, yeah,
Yeah, no. When you lost to Leipzig, it was kind of a double-edged sword to me. You lost, which I was really happy with, but I don't like Leipzig. The way that they come up, I'm pretty sure you'll know exactly what I know and everything. They're just scum. Just put it that way. They just are. But it was like I said, double-edged sword, because did I want them to win? No, but did I want you to lose? Yes. So yeah, it's one of those. But yeah, no, you have been leaking more goals. 9 against. Well, we've only got 3 against. But does that mean anything? No, not really. It really, really doesn't.
yeah, exactly what matters on the day.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Big up, mate. How you doing? We did do the predictions, mate. Hopefully you're well as well. Liam, should Pulvana not get loaned out again if we don't get Verts? Yeah, no, we need to keep him if we don't get Verts. And yeah, like we've obviously said in this show, let's see what happens. We got to try to get Verts first. Question for Alex. Sometimes feels off about Leverkusen. You didn't change a lot squad wise, but there is something off. What's up?
Guess it's very similar to the start of the 22-23 season. the season before, we had the highest ever tally of goals in the Bundesliga scored by Leverkusen. I think it was like
Yeah.
77. We kept basically everyone. We only lost. I think we only lost. Was it the RB that season? No, it wasn't
Yes.
RB. But we lost very few players.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started off the season absolutely terribly. I think it might be maybe a bit of arrogance. Maybe mentally we think that we have a bit of invincibility, even though we don't. I don't know. I don't know. It's quite alarming. It is a bit off. We we don't we, things that they used to be pulled off last season just aren't working. I guess maybe the other teams around us, they've wised up to us. Maybe they've seen how Atalanta played against us, and that kind of gives them a bit of ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as much the opponents waking up to Leverkusen as Leverkusen not waking up themselves. So
Yeah, no. I'm with you. I'm with you. It's again, like I said, it's going to be an interesting one. Again, you're not wrong in the fact of the fact you obviously have looked off, and obviously you've just said that yourself. And I'm actually very surprised you got to keep your players, to be honest with you. And that's no disrespect to you or your club, but you know how, like Ajax, for instance, when they were doing how well they were doing, the next minute they've been ravaged. You know what I mean? Their players are going left, right, and centre. I'm really surprised that Jeremy Frimpong hasn't gone, and that you've kept him. I'm obviously, I'm not surprised that you'd be happy with that. He's an amazing player. But yeah, let me see. Again, big up Cole. How are you doing? But yeah, mate, I think I've taken more than enough of your time. Any final words?
well, I'm just glad to be here. Great to meet you, and best of luck tomorrow. But not too much luck. Just
Yeah.
came and look forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, man. Nah, mate, 100%. I'm hoping we smash you. I'm not gonna lie, but when I spoke to a Leipzig fan, I say the same to you. You seem like a good lad, mate. Definitely have you on again if you are available to come on. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I just hope company gets it right from our perspective, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a difficult one. But yeah, big up to everybody. Thank you for the constant support on the channel. Again, it's literally in the name tag here. Go and follow Alex on Twitter. And it's also in the description. If you want to click the link rather than type it in yourself, it's in the description. Click it, go over there, give him a follow. Man, big up to everybody as per usual. Smash the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. And until then, Mia, peace out, people.